What is up, everyone? We're gonna just have a little bit of iced tea. This came out not too long ago, but Nene Leakes, she was on The Real and she was interviewed by the ladies of The Real. And of course, the Real Housewives of Atlanta is always going to be a topic of conversation when it comes to anyone interviewing Nene Leakes, whether she wants to talk about it or not. And over the past year, definitely in 2020, she was on the warpath with the Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise, bravotv, and definitely Andy Cohen. She was calling them out. And I said it before, I believe her detriment, because I didn't believe it would serve her well in the future if she handled things that way. You can't be out here calling people and networks that you've worked with and worked for that paid you really, really well racist and all these other things that she was out here accusing them of being. And she even made a comment about Andy Cohen, basically like she made him, saying, before anyone knew about you, they knew about Nene Leakes and all this other stuff, and it I felt was going to put a bad taste in the mouth of the man that sat in that middle chair for those reunions and would have her come on to Watch What Happens Live on a number of different occasions. All right. So recently, Andy Cohen, he responded to Nene Leakes saying that she would return to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So this is being reported by the Jasmine brand. And so on the episode of The Real that aired on December 1st, the executive producer, meaning Andy Cohen, responded to Nene Leakes stating that she would return to the show if she had a sit down with him, Lonnie Love said to Andy. So this is, what happens after playing the clip that Nene said that she would, return to the show if they had a sit down and a powwow. He said, we are in the midst of shooting season 14 of the Atlanta Housewives, and it's great. And Marlo has her peach, and Sheree is back. And we have some new faces and some great faces. And Kenya Moore is on fire. And so I am really focused right now on season 14 of the Housewives of Atlanta and not really looking beyond that right now. So you listen to that, you hear what he says, and you don't have to read between the lines. He didn't even have to say, you know what, I'm done with that bitch. Like he pretty much said that without saying that. Because here are the clues. Nene, as we know, has had her fallings out with Marlo. She's had her fallings out with Sheree. She definitely is not here for Kenya Moore. And she talks about how she made the Real Housewives of Atlanta and that is her baby. So what he basically said to her was, we're on season 14. You haven't been on in a few seasons, but we're shooting season 14. So clearly we're moving on without you. He says, Marlo has a peach. And she was out here saying before that she didn't think that Marlo would ever get a peach. And she was actually trying to get Marlo to get a peach, but it just didn't work out. So he's letting Nene know Marlo got her peach without you, okay? And he is saying to her that Sheree is back. Basically saying, there is an OG that is still on the show and she is back. Whether she deserves to be there or not, that's another story. But he is saying to Nene, we have an OG back. Like, you're not the only OG, all right? And then he says, and we have some new faces and some great faces. So he's basically saying there is room for fresh and new faces, and they are great. And I believe that they're going to be great for the show. And then he throws it, I would say salt into the wound of Nene by saying, and Kenya Moore is on fire, because there have been the back and forths with Kenya and Nene, especially on previous seasons of the Housewives of Atlanta on the reunions, where Kenya said, and I do believe Kenya, I don't believe Kenya lied about this. Kenya said, this was on the season when they had the pillow talk. And she said, I clearly heard Nene yelling and cursing and saying, you know, there's only one star of this show and I'm the star. There'll never be another queen and this and that and the other. And I do believe Kenya heard Nene say that. I don't believe that Kenya lied about that. And then on that season's reunion, they wound up playing a clip of Nene saying that. At first, Nene denied saying that. And then they played the clip and Kenya says, well, clearly there you go. She was saying that. And Nene says, well, I don't remember saying that, but whatever. So when Andy says, and Kenya Moore is on fire, like he's letting her know, like, we're moving forward without you. And I think he's kind of letting her know, we don't need you as much as you need us. You clearly put it out there that you wouldn't mind returning, but I'm not looking back. I'm looking forward. And like I said, he's saying no and the door is closed for now, because things can change in the future. Anything can happen. Things definitely are subject to change. But I'll be honest with you, I really do believe that if they want the show to continue to move forward, they should maybe start doing things like they used to do the Real World back in the day and have new people on the cast every season versus continually bringing the same people back and then trying to introduce, you know, new people and act like these people are friends when they really are not. And because it just comes across as really fake. Allow it to be new people that comes on every season and they don't really know each other, but see what happens when they get together. So similar to the Real World, the way it used to work years ago. I'm not talking about when things started getting ridiculous and it was just everybody hooking up with each other in the house, because it wasn't that way in the beginning seasons. It was more so people living in a house together, getting to know each other. Some people got along, some people didn't. Do it in this way for the Housewives of not just Atlanta, but the different Housewives franchises. Clearly, they all will not be living together, but they'll be coming together on different situations that will be filmed and see what happens. It's just a thought, but yeah, he's basically saying, yeah, we're moving on. So speaking of moving on, and still speaking of Nene, I mean, hey, this is a little bit more iced tea for you all. It was reported that Nene was having some trouble keeping chefs and cooks at her Lenithia Lounge. And this is being reported from the blog sandrarose.com. So it says, rumors are spreading that Nene Leakes is having trouble keeping chefs and cooks at the lounge. The former Real Housewives of Atlanta cast member put out a call for chefs/cooks to basically work for free at the Lenithia Lounge in Duluth, Georgia for a few weeks. In a post on Instagram, she wrote, "The Lenithia Lounge is looking for the best cooks, chefs in the Atlanta area to take over our kitchen for 1 week. Every week, there will be a different cook/chef for next few weeks. Our lounge guests will be the judge. The winner will have the kitchen permanently in January to start their very own restaurant in the Lenithia Lounge." So people on IG, they started to suggest that she wants people to work for free until after the holidays, but she's denied reports that she's low on cash after her husband's unfortunate passing, but she's still trying to get her home sold that she lived in with her husband, which at first she had listed for $4 million, but she slashed it, and it's been slashed a couple of times down to $3.4 million after receiving no offers. So I don't know if she should really be in this type of business. I have heard so many times over and over again that restaurants, they're hard to, a lot of them, they close within the first couple of years. And this one, I believe she's only had open for about a year. All of her all of her boutiques have been closed down, when she probably should have just had an online boutique, when she clearly is online a lot, instead of hiring people to work in her boutiques, because we've heard that she had issues with people who were working in the boutiques who were having some issues getting paid and receiving unemployment compensations because she had terminated them or not let them know anything and just closed down the stores without any notice. I'm not sure what it's looking like in there. Maybe the restaurant is I would say a harder part of the lounge to keep going, because I don't think in terms of pulling people to the lounge itself, if she has entertainment and a bar and drinks and maybe just like some finger food and snacks like that, that may not be as hard as to have a full-blown restaurant where you have to have chefs and cooks and servers and all of that stuff, because that also comes with the issues where we know Candy, who has her restaurants, has had some issues with the department that comes in to rate, and they have found all types of health hazards and those different types of things. I haven't heard anything where it involves the Lenithia Lounge in those type of issues, which is a good thing. But if they don't have anyone in there cooking and, serving food, then maybe they didn't have a reason to have anyone come in and do any type of inspections, for now, because no one's able to serve up any food because they don't have anyone to do it. I don't know. But she says, the winner will be getting a restaurant for free within the Lenithia Lounge. I don't know what that really means. I would think if she is renting the building, then maybe she's going to be subleasing the restaurant portion, or I don't know, maybe she is trying to be generous to someone for the holidays and she will actually just give that over and they can just take over the lease. We'll see. I think she is learning the hard way where it comes to this lounge, because the lounge has her name, the Lenithia. Okay, that may be a draw for some people, but to have a restaurant that's in a lounge, it may be a little bit hard to make money that way, because yes, you can mark up the drinks, you can mark up the food, all of that stuff. But a lounge versus a restaurant, a restaurant, you really want to have that turnover for the seating and the tables so that you can get people in and get people out. But whereas it is in a lounge, people want to chill out. They don't want to feel like they're being rushed. They just want to be able to maybe sit for a few hours and, maybe more, depending on how much they're drinking and enjoying themselves and the ambiance and the atmosphere. So it may not be working out for her the way that she had hoped that it would. And now she's learning the hard way. And then there's some people who feel like with Greg no longer being here, they feel that he was more the brains behind the business. And with him not being here anymore, and someone that she didn't have to pay as well to do these things, which clearly sometimes it seems like she's had an issue with paying people, then it may not be the best bet for her to continue in this line of business, and maybe just try to sell it over to someone else and get out of it, and maybe have them change the name. The Trump Hotel in DC, that's been sold, and that his name is going to be taken off of that. Sometimes you just have to do things like that in business, and it's not to be a knock to the ego. It's just sometimes the way things shake out in business. And especially in these days where this pandemic is still having flare-ups and issues, and people are having issues staffing their businesses, it's going to be a little bit harder for her. It really is. So I hope things work out for her. I don't wish any bad, upon her, but it seems that this business venture may not be a good thing for her, just like the boutiques weren't. It seems like this may be another one that bites the dust.